amazing wife. All right, hello everyone. Welcome to Real Life Prepper, aka Plant-Based Homestead Prepper, aka Real Life Positive Prepper. And we want to welcome you to our channel, well, to this channel. This lady sitting next to me is Jennifer. She is my spouse, and she has her own channel, and it is Heart Speak Hotness.
Heart Speak Warriors Forum, currently undergoing a potential name change to Hearts of Fire. This is the type of stuff that he does. He waits until we're doing important stuff where people need to actually be able to hear, and then he touches things that make the dogs bark. So, yeah.
No, it's only one. It's only one that's barking, only one that always barks. And I am holding that one right now. So those that don't know, we have 5 Yorkies. 5 Yorkshire Terriers, and they love to make cameos, as you can tell. Now this one, she is just loud for no reason because she's scary.
That's the baby of the bunch.
She is so scary all the time.
No, she's not. She thinks she's a big dog.
She's a worse dog.
She thinks she's a big dog, like a 300-pound Saint Bernard dog.
All right, so
but she's little.
The purpose of this live today is we've been coming in every.
Let's chat.
We'll be coming in every Saturday at 5:30 Eastern, so that we can review Containment. Very, very good episode this week. Very, very good. Hey, Gene, how are you?
Anthony came back. My bad. You was asleep.
Oh.
He just wanted me to.
Did he see the toolbox?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
He just wanted me to. Was like, well, just tell him I came back. Anyway, hi there, Miss Jean. We don't know where everyone is. Mr. Jean, we don't know where people are.
Yeah, I don't know. Who knows? Whatever.
It's Saturday. People are probably sleeping.
And it's nice.
It's been raining. Then it was nice. It's not too hot. It's not terribly cold. So, they don't have time for us. They'll catch the replay. So
even though they asked for this.
Yes.
Even though people asked for this.
So maybe it'll just be the 3 of us.
Hey, and that's all good. I'm good.
And that's good. Like, I'm good with that. We just hang out and talk through containment real quick and then get on out your way.
How many times you gonna slap your knee? So, containment was this episode was a good one right here, and you can start seeing the plot thickening. Got a lot to talk about. Short period of time. So for those who don't know what containment is a WG.
What is a WG?
I'm trying to think of the original network that put it out.
CW?
CW, that's it. Thank you.
Okay.
It's a CW. I had dyslexia, CW.
Is it really? Oh, it's not a Netflix original?
It's a CW. And it came out in, I want to say 2012. It's either 2012 or 2016. And we well, it's either one of those. Who was that last night, Thompson? It was either this or that. What that was your mama? Or was that you?
No, that was Mama Thompson. She's 13. No, she's 8.
Yeah. So
it came out in 2016. Okay. Ran from April to July.
All right, so and it came from CW Network, came out in 2016, and it's really scary, freakishly like almost what we're going through now. Well, not now because nobody cares about COVID anymore.
That's not true. We all still care about COVID.
We didn't bring that water in the house.
I know, it's in the car. I thought about it earlier.
Yeah. So we are in episode 3 this week, and
which is day 3.
Yeah, which is day 3 for them. And if people are not really interested in continuing the series, we can always just stop it because, hey, we understand how these reviews work. Some folks are like, yeah, rah, and then we start doing it. Folks drop off because of life, which is fine. That's okay. But we'll give it this week, and then we'll see how next week goes. If people not coming in, they don't want to talk about it. Then Jennifer and I just continue, and then we won't. We just binge watch the rest of it because some things happened in this episode that I had forgotten. So how does the episode start out?
So let's see. The episode starts out with Lex, who is Major Carnahan, hey Linda, who is the police officer that's basically been put in charge of ensuring that the quarantine and the cordon is not violated.
Right.
So it starts off with him ordering all of the manholes sealed.
Oh yeah. Because in the cordon right now, there's nobody getting in. Well, the rules are nobody in, nobody out.
Right. And so they don't want anyone to find any way out, which means that they are trying to seal every single way out of the cordon. Major Carnahan, Lex, is still trying to find ways to get police into the cordon, and he spends almost the entire episode trying to figure out a way. Which I still
can't understand, because it's like he's oblivious to what's going on.
Well, he's trying to get more help in there, knowing that people are going to start, like, order is going to eventually start breaking down. You know that.
Yeah, but he also has to know that the only thing in the cordon is death.
Well, yeah, but he's hoping, I guess, that he can keep his officers safe and keep them from.
Thing and
don't touch it anymore.
There was a little dust up there, so I swiped it and took us off.
So yeah, but he just he's hoping that he can get more help in without creating.
But it's still almost like he's just oblivious of the whole entire situation, because he keeps going to Dr. Lomer's with these harebrained schemes.
Well, I mean, what's the
like he doesn't understand?
Like, okay, so skipping forward a little bit in the episode, but just on this same exact scene, basically, like the same line of thought. He eventually gets to a place where it's not a harebrained idea. He's like, we can use one of the containers as a sluice. Anybody coming out can stay in the container for 48 hours to quarantine themselves and make sure they're healthy before we let them out. I don't think that that's too much to ask. When you're talking about bringing people in, food in, medicine in, whatever, and then when the people are coming back out, to allow them to quarantine themselves for 48 hours before going out into the normal population. Like, I don't think that's too much to ask. Dr. Lomers thinks it's way too much to ask.
I do too.
So she basically told him that she had federal jurisdiction and that he was to stop immediately from even trying. He was
also supposed to
get people into the cordon.
We got a guy that's outside of the cordon, has two young ladies inside who is feeding him information.
That's the journalist. That's Leo Green.
That's Leo Green.
I thought it was a great idea too, Gene. But yeah, so that's Leo Green. He's the journalist. He is the one that has basically been
telling the truth,
causing what Dr. Lomers has deemed fear-mongering. Like, he's basically causing people to be afraid by showing pictures of dead bodies on the street, death marks on people's doors to kind of identify the people who have the virus. They've likened it to the plague and victims of Hurricane Katrina. So he's basically showing the things that they don't want people to see, the things that they're not going to put on television. They're going to tell you everything's under control. He's showing off the things that are saying that are not in control.
And let's do a poll real quick. So if you're in an emergency situation, would you rather be told everything is under control, or would you rather, you personally, would you rather know the truth or want to know the truth? Which one? Vote now.
Okay.
Because I vote for knowing the truth.
I mean, I'm fine with knowing the truth. I don't have a problem knowing the truth. But what I do know is I also know that people can be very stupid when you're talking about like mob mentality and a bunch of people together at the same time who all panic at the same time. And it's really easy to lose control of those situations And not now you don't have to necessarily say, okay, well, all of these people are going to get sick because they're all in the streets together, which means they're all infecting each other. Or now you've lost more of your order. And so you have people who are not just dying from the virus. Now they're dying from getting in fights, getting shot, getting trampled in a crowd or whatever. So I'm all for truth. I believe that you should always give people the opportunity to get the information and make the decisions for themselves. But
all right, so we got truth seekers around here. Good job, y'all. But on the flip side of that, if you're already prepped, then guess what? You just shelter in place and you're good.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know how long that would last in a situation like that.
Yeah, because it's not guaranteed you're gonna be able to get home.
Right.
You know,
I was like, because a lot of the people that are in the cordon live outside the cordon.
Yeah.
And so they're not at home where their preps are. And so what do they have? Maybe they have what's on their back, like their backpack. Like that's it. Like maybe that's what they have.
Hey,
or even with the
situation.
Even with the lady at the store, like she has this store, so clearly she has preps. She could close her doors, but she's still trying to service the community. And she tells one lady that the little box of macaroni and cheese that was $5 yesterday is $10.
She said,
and she get an attitude about it, whatever. She get an attitude about it, leaves, comes back with her husband, I guess.
Armed thuggery.
Right. Got people with shotguns and stuff ready to blow up the store. And
no, they're basically robbing the place.
Yeah, coming in and he's like, just take whatever you want to. And luckily enough, Jake and one of his other officers get there to stop them from robbing the store. But that's the type of stuff that you're dealing with. Like there's nobody in charge in there anymore. It's basically all for self. Yeah. Like if you want something and you have the ability to take it away from somebody else, then you have the ability to do that because there's not enough people in there to stop you. There's only 11 police officers and 4,000 civilians.
True.
So there is no.
So this is a perfect example of WROL, SHTF happening inside of the cordon. Okay. So if you find yourself somewhere where there's Tiawaki, WROL, SHTF, and all you have is what you have on you, that is why it's important to have EDC, everyday carry. So if you are in a situation like that, which is sad because if you've prepped up and then you can't get to your preps, now you got to use your mind, which is what we train all the time. We're always training our mind because if you don't have anything else, you always have your mind, right?
Yeah. Okay. But I want to say this though, like one of the things that we should take away from the fact that there's only 11 police officers for 4,000 citizens within this cordon, even though it's more of an intense situation because of the virus and because of the cordon and people are a little bit panicky, just remember that in general, in everyday life, police are outnumbered by the general population.
Oh yeah, they probably outnumbered 4,000 to 11. That's probably what the normal number is.
Absolutely. So always, take that into account when you're talking about when situations break out, no matter where they happen and no matter what's going on. The police are always going to be outnumbered. There's never going to be enough of them. We don't have a 1-to-1 ratio within society. So you have to police yourselves, and there's always going to be people who are going to take advantage of that because they have more guns than you. They have more weaponry than you. They have, more manpower than you have. So
and that's why it's so important now to form communities and families and friends who have like minds, and if something goes down, you can call upon those folks.
Yeah.
And not to go vigilante, or you causing stuff, but so y'all can come together and defend your perimeter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's see what else happened.
It was a lot of things that were going on.
So the little girl, the pregnant girl, is still in quarantine.
She's still in quarantine.
This is hour 20 for her.
Katie and the kids, they couldn't
go home, are still at the hospital.
They're still at the hospital, and the dad of the little girl who had the hay fever, well, the stepdad or boyfriend or whatever.
He's the absent dad. He was an absent father, and now he's stepping back into her life. And
And
he's having to play full-time dad to a young girl he hadn't really had much contact with her whole life.
So he suggests they go up on the roof to get some fresh air because these kids are going crazy inside the hospital, which naturally after 3-4 days, these kids would be going crazy.
Absolutely.
So as they're getting, you know, I don't know why nobody thought of, hey kids, let's go to the bathroom before we go up out to the thing, but you know, the adults weren't doing adulting.
Right.
And
they were looking forward to some fresh air just like the kids were.
Right. So they just ran upstairs
they
to the
went
roof.
out to the roof.
So the little kid, what's the little black kid? Thomas. Little Thomas like, I gotta go. And you know, kids don't ever give you a warning like, hey, I gotta go in like 5 minutes.
No, it's
they
like,
gotta pee right now.
Like I cannot
So he
wait.
runs off, goes into the stairwell, and there is obviously an infected zombie on the stairwell. Because this dude is out of his mind. He's like, I don't know how to get home.
He got lost, or I lost my way and I can't get home.
Why did you find this stairwell?
He obviously was working in the hospital. Like he had on a janitorial jumpsuit or whatever. So he was working in the hospital, and I guess, you know, he couldn't go home, and he had become delusional because he was sick. So he's coughing up blood and just. And
he grabs Thomas.
Thomas by the hand.
I think he grabbed his glove first, and then how did that happen? Because they all had on gloves.
So he grabbed his hand. So he grabbed for him, and Thomas pulls away, and his glove comes off, and he grabbed him a second time.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's how Thomas.
And all this blood is on this kid's hand. Now, which brings me to a great point. Just because you're around somebody who has the virus, does that necessarily mean you're infected? No. That means you've been exposed. You've been exposed. Just because you've been around somebody who had corona does not mean you have corona.
Just means that you've been
exposed. And the wise thing, or the
smart thing.
I'm not even gonna say smart. The best thing for the community would be you go into quarantine.
Yeah.
Okay. And that is what's going on right now. People are being exposed, not knowing they've been exposed, and it's steady, you know, moving the virus around, spreading
it around.
So we put Thomas into quarantine.
We did. Because that was the best thing for the community,
for everybody.
In the hospital.
So Katie goes down to go check on Thomas. No Thomas. And I'm like, what the heck happened to Thomas? Whoa. So we find out because Katie go chase Thomas's dad down. Thomas's dad got him by the hand. He's walking down the hallway.
Yeah, he's like,
and Katie's like,
take my son.
Hey, you can't take him. He's been exposed. He needs to stay in quarantine.
Taking him with me.
And he pulls out a gat.
He did.
It looked like it was 9mm or 45. He pulls out a gun, points it to this girl's face, which I thought was a little.
That's because he was angry with her because he had asked her to watch him while he finished his shift at the plant.
Okay, so listen, folks.
And so he was furious with her because he basically blamed her for Thomas being exposed.
All right, so listen, people. If I've had your kid for 3 days now, which means I work with them all day the first day because I'm their school teacher. Then the next day, let's just assume that was a Friday, which I don't think we ever get days. So
we at least know day one was a school day.
So I've been with your kid and 11 other kids, a half million other kids since day one. Day two, that was day 3. They was letting them kids go.
Yeah.
So I've been with your kid and all his loud friends for 1 day. Another day, which is 40 hours. The third day, I can get rid of most of these kids except 2 of them. Plus my kid. I've been with your kid at 3 days. You can't take off work and come get your own kid, and your kid is hard-headed. I'm like, hold on, wait up, don't run away, and and I don't understand why Thomas didn't pee on himself. You know what I'm saying? If he had to go so bad, he in a scary situation, man, put blood on his hand, and he never urinated. This kid's got some bladder control.
He was scared.
Yeah, most time when kids are scared, what do? They release. Psh, that's it. So anyway.
So needless to say, Dr. Canners couldn't stop him. Katie couldn't stop him. And
it took Mr. Burt.
The man with the rats,
Mr. Burt,
in and de-escalates the
He's
situation.
like, sir, You know it's not. What do you say? Nice.
He says, yeah, it's not polite or not nice.
Yeah,
One
you
of
know
those
it's not nice to point a wave a gun in a lady's face. And I was like, wow, what a, and you know that kind of stuff right there only comes from older people. They can speak to somebody in a who's in a crazy state, and they can de-escalate stuff like crazy. And that only comes from time. That only comes from living a good long life.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So I appreciated that. And I like Mr. Bird. I love Bird.
So he de-escalated it and was like, all right, Thomas, you're going home today, and don't worry, Dr. Candace is going to fix everybody.
They are working with contained in the
so he's working at the, I think she said the electrical plant.
Right, and she said it was stressed to the max.
It was stressed to the max and all of that. So obviously there's extra energy being pulled in the cord in itself.
Right. So, and he was a supervisor. So she was like, he couldn't leave.
Yeah.
Well, it's been 3 days since you've seen your kid. To me, that didn't make any sense. Like, hey, I gotta go get my kid. I'm one of the ones who can. So y'all got to figure this out.
Right.
I mean, that bottom line. If it was me,
if I'm the boss, I can leave whenever.
Right, I can leave. You know, and if I don't have people in place who, and then again, they might be stretched because some of their workers might be outside the corner. So we don't know. We don't get that backstory. But still, your kid is involved.
Yeah.
It's been 3 days. Think about it. It's not day one. It's been 3 days, y'all. He hadn't seen his kid in 3 days.
Yeah, I'm going to
his kid has been in quarantine for 3 days now. You can go get your kid, and he chooses to work rather than get his kid. That's his own fault. Okay.
Well, he couldn't get him out of the hospital for the first 48. They
right, but day 3, he should have gone up there.
Well, he did. That was day 3 when he went to get him.
I mean, what, you've been working 3 days straight at the plant?
I guess, but I mean, they wouldn't let him into the hospital.
Right, but the first available that you can get to the hospital to get your kid, everybody else did.
Yeah, he worked a little long. He
worked a little longer. So, moral of the story is, don't be Johnny come late. Your kid might get exposed.
Yeah, he came and got him that morning, and then when all the other parents came, he'd have been.
We wouldn't even had that story, which is fine.
It's all good.
Okay, so, I thought he was working he was working at the power plant.
Yeah. So then, let me see what else was happening. So of course, Lex is trying to stay in.
I agree.
Lex is trying to stay in touch with Jana. No, that happened. We'll do that last.
Oh, we had to go make a food run.
Yeah, but I say the Jana and them are trying to make a food run.
Well, Jana's listening to Lex, and she's trying to make sure everybody gets portions and
yeah, and that they can stay alive with what they have instead of having to go outside. Right. But of course, she gets outvoted. They want to go make a food run, so they go out, and when they get back, Dennis is all sweaty. He doesn't have his gloves on. And so she makes them quarantine in the sluice, which is basically like the little space between the entrance and the actual inner part of the office.
Which makes me wonder, how do you get in if people have to buzz you in all the time? Because she got in, because when she first went there, she was the only one in there. How do you get in?
I'm sure there's a way for you to get in.
I'm
Some
sure.
kind of code or key or whatever.
But is she the only person that has it? Because it seems like she's the only person that could get in.
I don't know. Maybe. That's that security job. Gotta have that clearance. I don't know. I would have to go back and watch.
And then it all boils down to them having to go make the food run because the idiot that's with Dennis didn't go shopping the week before or when he was supposed to.
Right. So now they're stuck.
So and more the story of that one, do your damn job.
Right. So now they're stuck in the sluice. And
for at least 48 hours.
They're just waiting, and they got all the food with them. So the food run is kind of a moot point because even when, they got mad, so they started throwing food.
They throwing eggs. They started throwing the eggs.
Why would you throw the food and mess the food up that you just went and bought, and it's supposed to be for all of us?
Which a dozen of eggs in that corner, if a box of macaroni went from $5 to $10, then a dozen of eggs is probably $82.75.
You know it. So you're
wasting.
Now you're wasting. So they're in there, and Jana is let me see. So then Leo Green is trying to get some more information from his people that are in the cordon.
Right.
You know, they go back out, they get some more footage, they get some more video. He's on the phone, over the internet, video calling, talking to them, and one of the girls is coughing.
Well, Lex goes and visits him and asks him to stop.
Yeah, that was at the beginning
Yeah.
when he was telling him to stop. But
So
of course he didn't.
Nope.
So he releases the first video. Then he's trying to get more information. So he's sending his friends who are feeding him that detail to
and he asked him to get out the courtroom because they found an escape ladder.
Right. That's what they were talking about when they were talking about telling him to post it onto his site, right. And so that everybody could see that there's a way out of the cordon. And he was telling that he wasn't sure about posting it, but towards the end of their conversation, one of the girls was telling him, you have to do it. It's the truth, blah, 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 blah. But she starts coughing. And so he instantly realizes that both of them have been exposed to the virus and are now sick.
Well, we know one of them was exposed because she starts coughing, and then the other one starts coughing at her because I would have put her butt in the back room, but like, all right, you got to quarantine because you might be exposed and you may have it, but I may not.
Yeah, but but later on when you see that shot of them, the other girl is all
she's
sweaty
all sweaty
and
too.
everything.
So we know that both of them have it,
and that he knows that. So he's feeling pretty awful.
He should.
About having like them like taking their information from them and sent them out, because he basically was like, go get back at it, go feed the beast. Yeah. Like, so now he's feeling pretty crappy about that whole thing.
Very true. So that's the end of that story for now.
Yeah. So
the container. So Lex meets Jake in the container, which that throws me off a little bit too, because if there's no security on the cordon side of the container, and I'm sure they have security for that breach point right there, but it just seems like anybody can go to that container. Because if I'm looking at all these containers and I see one that's turned where I can just lift the latch and walk through, I don't know what's preventing the people from the cordon from walking through up until that point. Up until that point, I really don't understand, because we really don't see any security on the free side.
Yeah.
And we definitely don't have any security on the cordon side. So I'm like, how are we doing
I guess, just general people wouldn't make the assumption that they can just walk up there. They would assume that part is locked. Like,
yeah, they would assume.
My initial assumption would be that it's locked, and I have no ability to actually open that door. And even if I do, I probably get shot when I open it. So,
well, they was willing to get shot when they went to fire escape.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, that's because that happened before right. Jake and Lex were in the sluice. So a man, of course, sees the video that Leo Green posts about the fire escape. He goes up there. He's trying to get out of
Well, first of all, it's a whole mob of folks, and it's only these 10, 11 cops, and it's a whole mob of people.
Yeah.
So, of course, they take over. They just run past. One guy gets past. He just happened to have some bolt cutters.
He did. He just randomly had.
He was ready.
He was ready. He knew he was getting.
It was like the bolt cutters were sitting up there waiting on him. Hey, Roderick, come cut me.
Do it.
I'm ready.
Crazy, like so crazy. Like he was ready. That's what preparedness looks like.
That's right.
So he gets up there and then he gets on down the fire escape and on top of the container, and of course he's just a quick jump to the other side. Freedom. And of course Lex and a host of other police officers are on the other side telling him not to jump, don't do this, like go back inside.
And apparently none of them was going to shoot him. Apparently, it's very apparent.
Yeah, I don't think they would have. Like, they didn't seem ready to shoot him.
Nope.
At all. So the
Lex finally pulls his gun out. I think if anybody was going to take the shot, it would have been Lex, because I can't see him ordering somebody else to do it. He doesn't seem like that kind of person.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden you hear pow, pow, pow.
Yeah.
And the dude drops. He bleeds out. And the dude on the inside of the corner with Jake, right next to Jake. And I think that was
Baker.
Was that the same dude?
Same dude who was at the store with him.
Who was all scared.
Who was telling him the cameras aren't hooked up and I'm not here for a suicide mission. So he basically shot him and he fell and he's dead. But right after he did that, he turned over his badge to Jake. He told him he was done.
Jake said, I can't believe the houses that the houses don't have a back door that opens to the free zone. I'm sure they do, but they put first of all, they put fences up really quick, okay, to contain that zone.
Yeah. Then
they went and
yeah, he did. He had cops and he has a wife and kids over there, and he was like, they could be sick. Yep. Like they could be totally sick.
We don't read Spanish. I'm sorry. And that's our, I don't forget what platform that is. Who is this? I tweak Twitter. I don't even know what that platform
I don't
is.
really know what you got going on. I didn't know you were still streaming.
Yeah, we're streaming on 2 different.
So yeah, he basically did it to protect his wife and his children, but he turned over his badge.
He was like, I'm done.
He was like, I'm done.
I can't do this. I can't do this police thing anymore.
Right. So he let that go. And
okay, so question. Was that a justified police shooting?
Oh.
Was that a justified police shooting?
That's a loaded question.
I know. I mean, we're always talking about police shootings in the news and everything. So here's one we witnessed where someone potentially was infected or exposed and could expose the rest of the world, basically. Was that a justifiable police shooting? Vote now. Because not like the dude did. He didn't break. Well, he did break the law. Well, he hadn't broke the law yet.
He was gonna break the law.
Yeah, he was in the process of about to.
But that is what Leo Green asked Lex earlier in the episode. He said,
"Oh, Gene says no."
I know that's right. He says, you know,
if someone tries
to leave the court, and do you shoot them? And he tells him, he's like, that's the difference between you and I. You'll never have to answer that question.
Right.
So, that's one of the things that
Kentucky.
You know, they have to take into consideration. And did he do it because he was did Baker shoot that man because he was afraid of what could happen if he got out of the court? And absolutely. Did he do it because he had the feels for his wife and his children? Absolutely.
Okay, so let's talk about that.
Justified? I don't know that answer.
So Gene said he should have used non-lethal. Okay, for example, what? Because I didn't see anybody with any tasers, and from that distance, taser's not going to work.
Yeah.
Baton's not going to work. Mace is not going to work.
Rubber bullets.
Police don't carry rubber bullets. Okay, that's only issued out during crowd control. Okay. And they're inside the cordon. Right. They obviously don't have any. And Lex obviously don't have any on the outside.
And they probably can't get it since they're trying to keep everything so quiet. Yeah,
rubber bullets. Okay, so they don't have rubber bullets. Obviously, they don't have rubber bullets.
Yeah, they don't. I mean, this kind of snuck up on them. So the police officers that were in there obviously don't have any riot gear. Like Baker was saying when he was at the store, he didn't even have his vest.
Right.
Like he didn't even have his Kevlar. So there's no way.
Okay,
I'm pretty sure they
Gene,
didn't have their.
They're doing crowd control, yes. But the guys that are inside the cordon, they was trapped. And remember, they've trapped in there.
Yeah, this
and
is
the guys that are outside the cordon, they're not crowd controlling.
Right.
They're just regular policing right now.
They're just monitoring the perimeter, really.
Right.
Like they're not doing any crowd control. And the people that are inside were, you know, basically caught off guard and got stuck in there. So they don't have, some of them don't have their Kevlar vests. Pretty sure a lot of them don't have their riot gear. The only reason that Jake even has his face shield and his Kevlar vest was because he was sent to go get patient 0. Like he was at the hospital and had to go get patient 0, and then he got stuck in there.
Yeah, so everybody else that's on that side, they're just beat cops.
Yeah.
That are doing that are normally doing traffic. Yeah. Or they work at the school as the little resource police officer or whatever. They're not ready for this.
Yeah. So he said, so if there's no other weapon, then it's justified for public safety. So, okay. So now we're talking
So we swayed one vote.
Okay. I mean, but that's why I was like, I don't know. Like, I can't tell you if it's justified or not. I know that if it was me and I was in the position of either Lex on the outside or even Baker on the inside, I likely would have shot that man.
Well, I'm gonna tell you guys from me being, you know, from my training, we had certain, I guess I could say, zones, and if you cross, so if in an encounter, okay, a person with a knife, and this is why a lot of times people with knives get shot. A person with a knife can close the gap of a 21 foot space, and this is all from my training 20 something years ago. A person with a knife can close the gap within 2 seconds. That's why we're trained to put two rounds on target down range from 7 yards away, which is 21 feet. in 2 seconds. Because by the time you pull your weapon, you come up muzzle up on target and fire 2. That person is on you if they're coming towards you. So when the dude came down the fire escape, they were already justified in shooting because it's already a perceived boundary broken because he wasn't supposed to be on the containers anyway, and they gave him what, 5 warnings. Sir, this is your last one. How many times did Lex say, sir, this is your final warning? We will shoot you.
He did tell them, you know, a couple times, go back, go like, don't do this, go back into the court. And, you know, he was trying to get him to just basically go back the way he came. And he looked like he was getting ready to jump down. And so Baker those shots.
Blasted him. Plow. He put 3 on target too.
Yeah.
I don't know how he put 3 on target that slow. Because it was like pow, a pause, and then pow, pow.
It's dramatic.
I know it is. It was.
Hey peeps. So yeah. So that happened, and then of course, Jake and that's the very last.
Hold on. Back on that subject. All it takes is shooting 1. Okay. Something happened. SHTF happened in your area. Tiawaki happened. All it takes is shooting 1,
shoot the closest person to you,
and everybody else, you won't ever have another problem. I guarantee you. That day you won't have another problem. Now they may come back with some more friends, right. But that day, you can sleep, you can rest well. You're not gonna have that problem again. Not that day.
Right, right. Like you good. The rest of that day, you are so good. Like it's crazy.
They shooting people around here. Oh my God, they serious.
Yeah, so then Lex calls Jana.
Yep.
And they're on the phone talking.
Everybody's doing something because Jake and Katie
are watching the YouTube video.
Because Katie's down there and she finds him in the morgue burning bodies. And
we didn't talk about that. No, how Dr. Candace has him down in the morgue, basically, incinerating all the people's bodies who have died.
And apparently, I don't know if
you caught doing something. What?
I don't know if y'all caught this or not. But the people that are dying outside of the hospital seem to be outnumbering those that are dying inside. I don't know if y'all caught that or not. But and we get that story from the video that Green is putting up, from his girls.
Because them bodies are not making their way to the hospital.
They're not making it to the hospital. They're just dying on the street.
Dying on the street. So what we have in the hospital are basically like the nurses and the doctors that we had at first, the kids from the party.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just the people that we actually could
Patient Zero and his family.
Patient Zero and his family, like the people who we got to the hospital who died at the hospital.
And I don't know if y'all noticed that they were bringing folks in too. They had them lined up and they were testing. They was testing them at the door and they were like, okay, take him that way and then take them that way.
So they're filling up the hospital with people who are sick who will eventually die until we can get their life together. So they're setting up other places where they can have patients within the hospitals. So what else? Jake, I was about to say, because what Jake is doing is he's taking pictures of the people's faces, of their licenses. He's taking their necklaces, their watches, their wallets. What in the world are you doing?
Oh, I'm reading what Good said. You're right. It only takes 1 to prove a point. Yeah.
And he's taking all these personal effects from the people and putting
which I thought was a really nice gesture on his part.
Bags, and after he incinerates them, he has a jar with their ashes in it. He lays their particular envelope with their ashes so that they know who it is. They have their personal effects for their family after the fact, because he said that he thought someone should honor them
with respect.
And this was the best way for him to do that, by making sure that we knew who these people were. And that
did you notice what number he was on?
No, he told Lex he had 12.
But did you notice what number he wrote on that envelope when Katie came in? It was 7.
Okay, he was, backlog. He had bodies.
He had plenty of bodies. Yeah.
He had bodies he hadn't burned up yet. So then
I just thought it was interesting that he wrote that he was on number 7 when she came in.
Why is that so interesting?
Because 7 is the number of completion.
Oh, okay. Close to being complete. Okay, so then what we were talking about?
We didn't talk about Bert and his wife. Bert
goes home.
Yeah, Bert goes home.
And Dr. Candace's like, hey man, you gotta come back. I need more rats. So Bert goes home. He's like, I gotta take care of my boo thing. He gets home. They sitting down. They eating. They got
and he's
wine.
like, yeah, I'm just gonna chill.
He's like, I'm just gonna chill. I'm gonna get me a nap. And she's like, and then you gotta go back to the hospital.
And I laugh because that sounds just like me and Jennifer. Because I'd be like, yeah, I'm just gonna chill. I ain't doing such and such and such and such.
She was like, and then you're gonna go back to the hospital because Dr. Canners needs those rats.
And that's your job. And he's like, my job is to take care of you.
And she said, no, your job is to like go take the rats. And he told me something. I don't care.
I don't care. And that was so funny because I thought about me and Jennifer because that sounds like something I would say. I don't care.
Yes. And then she's like, yes, you do care. That's why I love you. Like that's part of the reason I love you.
Good job, Gene. Good job. Your observation skills are impeccable.
What?
Gene noticed it was number 7.
Oh, number 7. Okay. So yeah, so he's home with his boo, chilling.
And apparently he don't stay there because he comes back and saves Katie.
Yes.
From getting shot in the face.
Back to the hospital and saves her from getting shot in the brain pan. So,
well, he was gonna shoot her in the eye. He had the gun like right in her eye.
Yeah, she's gonna die that day.
Oh,
that was gonna be a death that didn't have nothing to do with the virus. They would have
counted that as a coronavirus death.
So towards the end, everybody's kind of chilling. Dr. Candace on the internet doing some research, and he's in the middle of a Zoom call. He's on there talking to some other doctors about the virus.
And Katie and Jake are downstairs watching the Bulldogs shoot basketball.
Yeah, the Bulldogs shoot basketball, and Teresa and Xander are on FaceTime.
Yep.
They're chatting and talking, and Lex and Jana are on the phone.
And it's funny. I don't know if y'all noticed or not, but Lex was on the phone talking. Literally like 10 or 15 feet from Dr. Lomas. Yeah,
he was. He was not far from her.
He was not, and he didn't have a clue what's about to happen.
All of a sudden,
bloop,
the phone goes out, the internet goes out, like everything just gone. All communications was shut down.
They shut down everything inside the courtroom.
Yeah, and so Dr. Lomas makes a phone call, like you hear his phone ringing.
Yep.
And so Dr. Lomers is actually making a phone call to Dr. Canners. And Dr. Canners like, I lost my internet connection. She's like, don't worry about it. We'll have you a internet and a secure phone tomorrow, but it'll just be you.
Yep.
So they're going to set him up so that he can continue to communicate with the outside world because, of course, he's the only doctor that's working on the virus right now. So Lex walks over to her. He got attitude now, y'all, because now he can't talk to his boo. Can't talk to her because all communication is shut down. And so he's got this attitude about it, and she's basically like, you shouldn't have no attitude with me. This is not my fault.
I
asked you to shut down Leo Green. You couldn't do the job, so I had to do it myself.
So if you want to blame somebody.
Right. So if you want to be mad and want to blame somebody, blame yourself, deal with yourself.
And I thought that was a perfect response because she's right. If he had shut down Leo Green, and nobody would have been mad at him if he had arrested him, put him into custody. Nobody would have been upset with him, but he's always trying to be the daggum good guy.
He is, and I would have been the bad guy because I'd have been like, "Hey, you're under arrest for threat to public safety, violation
all they had to do was put it up on the
Patriot Act, like whatever it is, you are violating it. You under arrest until further notice."
And he could have taken him into custody at least for 24 hours.
Yeah.
48, whatever.
Absolutely.
Then he would have been able to talk to his boo thing.
I mean, under the Patriot Act, we can just keep you until.
Yeah, until. Just whatever.
So it doesn't even matter. And since Lomas has federal jurisdiction, I don't see why they would not have exercised that.
Now, in real life, that probably would have happened. In a show, it had to play out the way it played out. So
since they did not, they lost all their comms, and that's why Lomers allowed Lex and Jake to go into the sluice and talk because there was no other way for them to talk.
I thought that was before.
No, I think that's one of the very last things that happened.
I don't think we had that information. And matter of fact, I think that he went and talked to Jake because he had to call him to meet him.
I guess that's true.
So I think he did that on his own. I think he did that on his own.
Yeah, that must be just before.
Because he went in and he took him some ammo and some reinforcements, some food and stuff. He's like, where my backup? He's like, no backup.
No backup. Nobody's coming.
That's it. We're gonna give you some stuff.
And
if I was Jake, see, Jake's kind of dumb. Okay.
Whoa.
Because Jake is another good guy. Because if it's me, I'm taking myself and a few of my good friends, cops, Actually, about 5, 6, 7 of us, and we're gonna stake out at the doggone store. That's where we're gonna be at. But like, we're gonna provide security, you provide us food, and everybody's good, okay? But apparently the hospital's treating them pretty good, and they got plenty of food at the hospital.
Don't you know they got that cafeteria food?
He keeps going back to the hospital.
They got that cafeteria food at the hospital, y'all. Y'all know what that's like.
Gina had a good day for once. All right, good.
So I mean, you know, I'm sure they're well fed at the hospital. And
okay, Gene,
a whole job to do.
Gene be coming up with some stuff that's like impractical.
But if they had a satellite phone, why? Some people do have satellite phones.
Who has a satellite phone?
People who buy them.
Okay, name one person.
Some serious preppers do.
Name one person that we know that has a satellite phone.
Nobody.
And then again, Gene, remember, a lot of these people are trapped and they're not on the side where they live. Like, so they're out just trying to fend for themselves.
I know one person.
Who is that?
The dude from Jurassic Park.
That's the only person I know.
Because the dinosaur ate it, and then it was making that.
That's true. It was. It sure was.
But yes, I mean, a sat phone would be great, but who really has that outside of government workers?
If they turn off the internet, don't satellite phones work on the internet?
No, they work direct with the satellite.
Oh, they just move it's satellite, and then who you call it?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't know anybody has that.
But no civilian has that. Most local law enforcement don't have sat phones. Like, that's really something that you would go out and buy for yourself if you wanted to have one. Or that's like government. That's like government issue stuff.
Look that up.
I mean, most of the time, government workers have that. Yeah, hikers sometimes do have sat phones. I know 2 people who hike and go in the mountains in the woods all the time, and they don't have those. People who camp in national parks have satellite phones. So I know a couple of people who go out, like I said, on the water and in the woods and all this other stuff, and they don't have them. So I'm not sure your typical person thinks about sat phones. I don't know how many people in Atlanta, Georgia are hikers. So I don't know how practical it would be for the people that are inside the cordon to actually have those phones.
All right, so I just looked up. The first thing came up was Mint Mobile. Never even heard of them. They have a 3-month plan, and it's unlimited 5G, 4G. What's that? Light data? I don't know. LTE data. Mm-hmm. The intro price is $30 a month. Okay, unlimited nationwide talk and text, unlimited data, 3-in-1 SIM card kit. Okay, but apparently neither Jake nor Jenna or Lex have that because they got turned off. They had T-Mobile like me. Okay.
Yeah.
And that was it.
That's one of the things that
but great point, Gene. Yeah, I mean, I didn't even know that was something that average people could do. I didn't think it was affordable.
Yeah, I mean, but that's not something that most people think about. They get their normal little cell phone plan, they go about their way.
Right.
So it's doubtful.
Now we have ham radios around here, so if anything was to happen, and Jennifer knows, we need to practice that too. We have a certain frequency that they're set to that if anything happens, we could potentially have some communication. But yeah. So smartphones are satellite phones.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just one of those things where they blacked out the communications within the cordon to prevent any additional information from coming out and
going in,
and to really control the information that's going in. So now we're at a place where everything's dark within the cordon.
And this only took 3 days, y'all. This is day 3.
That's all. This is day 3. And we've lost all of our communications. There's price gouging going on. There's attempted robberies going on.
Not to mention that's just stuff we know about. It's not even mention what's on the street.
People have already tried to escape the cordon.
And people are dying.
And people are dying in the streets. And this is day 3. That's it. Only on day 3.
So watch season 1, episode 4. And for those who are just tuning in, or if you're watching a replay, we are reviewing every Saturday at 5:30 Eastern. Containment. Season 1. This week we're going to be on season 1, episode 4. And I'm enjoying this. You know, I'm enjoying this. Jennifer and I used to come together and we used to do a show on Saturdays, every Saturday when I first put up the channel. So it's a good refresher. We didn't do reviews back then, but we would just tell you guys kind of how our week went. And is that all we did? We just telling everybody how our week was.
Oh,
and that was a very popular show.
Yeah, we can't tell people how our week went now. Because everybody we struggle busting it through the week.
Yeah, this week has been a rough week for all of us involved. Yeah. Present company included. You know, y'all keep sending us love and y'all keep us in your prayers, and we do the same thing for you guys because we're struggling too. You know, we're still going through the pandemic. We're still working our full-time jobs. We're still married. We still get on each other's nerves.
We realize that out of a lot of the people that we know, maybe not all of them, but a lot of the people that we know, there were people who got furloughed, you know, so they haven't been at work. They've been sitting at home with, you know, collecting unemployment, or they had reduced hours and things like that. But we haven't. We
realized that this week.
Like our momentum, our lifestyle, nothing changed. Like I still had to go to my job. I just happened to move my office here, even though I drive to my actual business site a couple times a month. But like I work every day from home. Roderick still has to go to his job. He was deemed an essential worker. We still have to work at the church because there was never a time when the church wasn't streaming.
I think it was just service. 1 week where we didn't.
No.
And then the following week. Oh, we figured it out. That's right. We figured it out on the fly.
Tiffany was doing it from her iPad at first.
Yeah, we never stood down.
There was never a time when we slowed down and didn't have anything to do. And so
then I've been doing side jobs.
Roderick's been doing side jobs for repair, and we still got 5 dogs, and we still got friends who want to talk to us, and we got to try to mentally and emotionally take care of the people who depend on us.
Right. We're mentors to a lot of folks. I didn't realize that either. I didn't realize we mentored so many people.
Yeah, and we still got kids that need attention. You know, Gaba Jr. We got nieces and nephews. We got aunts and uncles who want to talk to us. I just spent a couple hours with my aunt who was in from Ohio last night. So, I mean, like, we haven't slowed down at all. So, it's like we have not slowed down at all. So, we are tired. And, I mean, like, because of the pandemic, of course, anxieties are up. Depression is up. So, people need more emotional support from their friends and their circles. So, be good to each other. Be kind to each other. Be kind to yourselves. Lean on one another. But do not let your, like, love and desire to support someone mess you up. Make sure that you are doing lots of self-care and taking care of yourself before you are taking care of other people.
Right.
But yeah, so that, I mean, like, we've been doing that the whole time, so we are tired.
Yeah, because I think it was like Tuesday we had a conversation. I was like, I think Jennifer brought up. She was
I'm tired because we
have I thought about it, I was like, damn, I'm tired too. I'm just tired, and it's not like I need to go take a nap tired.
No,
we are mentally drained.
Mentally tired.
It's just like, oh my God. Yeah, we're almost done.
Yeah.
But absolutely. We just keep on going, mind stimulation.
We don't have a choice.
Yeah, we don't have a choice.
Keep on plugging away at it, but we're trying to be good to ourselves.
And I think that's why this week I did a bunch of mental shows. You know, I was like, how's your psyche? You know, check on yourself. Make sure you're okay mentally. I think that's why this week I did a bunch of those because we needed that, you know. What Mike say?
So they need another message from me on my channel.
Oh yeah, that channel's just.
I'm sorry. I literally, like, if I could tell y'all what my life has looked like since March, y'all probably would.
Y'all would all start crying, and you would need therapy. Trust me.
But I tell you what I will do. I will solemnly swear to work on something this week that I can get up for you guys soon. I promise. Because I realized that I haven't put anything on that channel, no content, nothing in like 6 months. I am going to get back in stride. I cannot promise a video every week, but I will get some content up before I can't promise even month end because I got to worry about my job during month end because I'm in finance, so we close the books. So first week of October, I promise new content, and then I will try to get back into the routine of putting content on that page. It's just been, believe me when I tell you, it has been like I have had to do a lot of self-care and self-support. So
election, God.
Yeah, and we're waiting on the election.
Full of Hope asked me early in the week, was I feeling anxious? Did I have anxiety about the election? Absolutely not. Zero. And this chick right here, she's on it. She is following candidates and stuff. I have to let certain things go, especially when things start causing me mental anguish. Oh, I let it go. No.
Believe me when I tell you what's really funny is dealing with Trump's craziness, with the election, with RBG dying. Like, what's really bad about it is that is kind of my break away from all of the other stuff that I've been trying to deal with. Like, so that's kind of my break. Like, dealing with politics is like the lightweight of my life right now. Like, that's the easy stuff.
When you two tell us to take care of ourselves, take a mental vacation too. Thank you. It's so hard though. It's so because we just I don't want to say we overextend ourselves, but we do.
No, I think we want to make sure that we are consistent in taking care of the people who are around us and the people who support us and the people that we care about. So we don't always get a chance to step away. So where we can step away, I do. So that's part of the reason why there's not a lot of new content on my page, because that was a place I could step away from for a while I did some other things and focus in some other areas. And knowing that I would kind of be here with you guys on Roderick's channel, you know, I'm not away from you all. I'm still here. You guys still get to see me, but I don't have that obligation to put up new content. So I stepped away from that, trying to be as connected and positive and like upbeat for you guys. Not always easy to do, but we do it because my motto is typically that you don't have any idea what someone else is dealing with, and they really don't need your attitude on top of it. So try to add to instead of take away from someone's day.
Hey, JK. Thank you for checking in.
So, yeah. Yeah, it is. It still is tough and depressing. It still really is. So yes, please do take care of yourself. Find out whatever it is that you need to do for yourself, whether it's sing, read, cut grass.
Grass is always getting cut around our house.
We don't have no grass. We got dirt at this point. We just have dirt.
Sometimes I even cut the neighbor's grass. I guess that's my thing, you know. Since I got the lawn tractor, it's so much easier now. So yeah, I think that's my therapy. Even though it's like 10 minutes, it's my therapy.
So whatever.
But we definitely have the best yard in the neighborhood. Yeah. I mean, hands and in like 20 blocks, we got the best looking yard.
We do have the best looking yard. So whatever it is, no matter what it is, whether it's getting a nap every day, playing with your dogs, like coloring, knitting, whatever it is, like shut up, Tinky. Sheesh. Whatever it is that you need to do that like helps you relax and kind of takes you away from the hustle and bustle of the daily routine, do it, and do it consistently to give yourself that like mental break away from the chaos. Like everybody needs it.
I agree. So without further ado, that's our buzzer. That's it. We made it.
We made it. Yay, we did it.
So as always, thank you guys. Hit the like button for me real quick. We appreciate you. We care for you. We love you. Thank you so very much for spending some time with us. Yes. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. We don't ask often, but if you do want to send something, whatever it is, email us, plantbasedhomesteadprepper@gmail.com. We'll send you the Cash App if you want to do that. If you want to send a lot of folks that send us things through the mail. If you have, thank you so much. And just thank you guys for supporting us. You know?
Mike is like, copy and paste this video to your channel. Maybe I will.
You know what, Mike? You can't do that anymore. They will YouTube. Oh. Well, I can't say you can't do it. YouTube is a little different.
I just put it in my liked videos and then
you can do that.
Page.
All right, cool. Yeah. So we're out, y'all. We're gonna go and find something. I don't know what we're gonna do for the rest of the evening.
I got some reading to do.
We don't have anything planned. Okay, so Jennifer's not gonna be available.
What do you want to do, honey? You want to go to Robert's house and do his taxes?
Go cut grass.
You want to go to Robert's house?
No, I don't want to do no damn taxes tonight. We out, y'all. See y'all.
Good night.
Relax. Yes, definitely relax.